Yeah, when we started this podcast, I think it was more Ryan's brainchild and just us three, just really wanting to have a catch up chat with everyone once a week. And kind of our view of the podcast is we were going to catch up anyway, so why not record it and see if people get value from it and drive more structure around the conversations. But if you can remember back 2 years ago, I think Dorian read a stat that something like 99% of podcasts don't go past the 18th episode. So we were like, we've got to get
21 minute, 21.
18 or 21 there or thereabouts. So it's really good that we stuck with it and we're at 100. And I suppose a lot of that is testament to the feedback questions, the network that's come off the back of it, the sellout event that we did in January. So good fun. But business wise, 2 years ago, blimey. I mean, our development, some of them we're still on. Which goes to show how slow some of our schemes are, or long our schemes are. Slow is the wrong context because some of them are strategically slow, phased, or quite big sites. But some we finished. I'm trying to think like the three key learnings that I've learned myself in the last 3 years. So sometimes less is more, and I was actually talking about this last night at an event. Our natural instinct is to go set up another business, go do, when we get a site, expand it, do everything, take the roof off, rip it apart, go down, go back, go sideways. And definitely a learning in the last 2 years that sometimes speed and a lighter touch, so it's less sort of egotistical. You're not thinking, oh, I want to do that and do this and do this. Like, let the site breathe to you, let the site breathe, and I think that sometimes speed, especially in this market, and less aggression on some sites can be more profitable and less risky. Because we're not scared of like any form of construction. Like Colney Hatch Lane, we did a retrospective basement, removed 1,000 tons of soil, propped the building up, dug retrospectively, restructured it all up from underneath while holding up a 10,000 square foot red brick building above it. That part of that scheme was actually fine, but you don't have to do everything that you can. And saying no, I had a lot of business opportunities approach me this year that I've learned to just sort of say, actually, let's focus, let's double down on what we've got. We've already got a lot going on. So I'd say one of my key learnings in the last year is less is more.
Would you say when it comes to that time, so that sort of speed is key, is that you looking at planning in terms of you could go aggressive on planning, or is it better to just have a more in and out approach on the scheme, or are you talking more about duration on site or the type of site you're buying?
Yeah, I'd kind of say the way that we typically do an analysis on a site is we always have base case scheme. So get the analysis going, buy it without planning risk or what know you can get done, and look at the numbers. We then duplicate that tab and go option A, which is like slightly heavier hand, maybe some external changes or some new build in the car park, whatever it may be. Option B, like the holy grail, like everything that you can possibly do on that site, change the time frames or contingency, look at the profit margin. Because sometimes cash in your bank account is better than delaying a scheme, because a lot of our schemes, because they're not ground up, you can't phase it as well as a national home builder could phase a 100-unit housing site. So everything really. So planning, legals, delivery. Like one of our schemes has been delayed because we phased the site in 3 parts where we've added significant value, but then the contractor can't practically complete on one of the units because we've added 2 new houses to the scheme. So I think just being a little bit more ourselves, rather than being aggressive about more bricks, more buildings, more space, more mezzanine floors, more new build extensions, being more aggressive on our timeframes and just going, look, that'll do. We'll take that profit. We'll get out the scheme. We'll move on. Here's Dorian. Can I? Yeah, nice. No wonder he was late. That is scary.
He's late, but he's allowed to be when he's committed that much. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I'm amazed that might not even be Dorian.
Yeah, this is where he substituted a staff member in to do the pod.
We'll know by a thick Welsh accent in a minute. Guys, can you hear me?
Can you hear me all right?
Borada! Hello! Happy Easter. Hippity
Oh
hoppity.
my God! No wonder you were late.
I've lost my eggs.
No wonder you were late.
Oh, fucking hell, mate.
Hello. I had to do my hair, Stu.
Mate, it's beautiful. You look absolutely beautiful. Happy Easter, mate. You
Happy
digging
Easter,
for
mate.
eggs, are you? I'm digging for gold. Jack's digging for
Oh,
a check to bounce.
Jack's in a Western.
There's no way. There's no way I can talk to him like that. That's just so good.
Mate, don't I look like a DJ?
You do, mate. Did you buy that? Like, has that just been lying around the office? Like, did you actually buy? Did you buy that?
I'm visiting a children's hospital for Easter and giving them eggs.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Mate.
On Christmas we have a Santa costume as well, where we go to children's hospital and give them selection boxes.
Very sweet. Love it.
Brilliant.
Fucking love it,
I'm
mate.
taking a skiing.
Oh, that'd be sick on the slopes, mate. Love that.
Dorian, we're talking about what's changed in our business and personal lives in the last 2 years since we set up this podcast.
Sorry, Jack, it's a bit bright.
Sweet.
Don't fit. Go on, sorry.
I mean-
Serious now. Serious. Go on.
Yeah, serious, mate. Yeah, go on.
I have to take
Go on,
it
let's-
off. Take it off. It's
There
fucking
he
hot
is.
in there.
Yeah, mate, that must be pretty lethal. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Stu, what you saying, mate?
Like Jack said, we got together because I enjoy being your boys' company, whether it's digital or virtual, and it's just nice to catch up. And I think this podcast, we're quite disciplined characters, and this is just another string to being disciplined and to getting up early, getting on, showered, getting ready, and turning up. And most of us turn up all the time on time. There's one or two exceptions that sometimes happens, but we're all busy in our own little worlds. And yeah,
Was that a dig?
No. You keep digging for eggs, mate, whatever you're up to. I love it. I love spending time with you guys. But in terms of business, I've loads of change. We obviously moved house. I'm focusing on the family now and trying to build something for us. The hard work over the last 5 years has been building up a portfolio. We've tried different size buildings. There's some that are easier than others. There's so much value to have learned in the last, in doing the bigger schemes. People I speak to on the network and in private, they're like, surely you want to go on to bigger and bigger schemes, but there's a lot of value in learning what you've learned and just trying to perfect it and perform better, perform faster. And the HMOs, I was just saying, there's a bit of a flywheel effect we've now created. We've got a good bridger, good lender, good term loan funding, and a property type that we can spin into, and a team that know what they're doing now. And we've got everything detailed out. So the plan is to spin them up and do 5, 6, 7 of them a year, and build the portfolio that way, where it can then free me up some time to spend time with the family and to help build this dream home of mine over the next 50 to 100 episodes. That's what I'm going to be spending my time on. So D, over to you, mate.
The flywheel that you just mentioned there, Stu. So good to great flywheel, so important. It's if people can find their flywheel in business and tighten it, shorten it, that's apparently Jim Collins references one of the secrets to being successful and being great, not just good, is by nailing your flywheel. So yeah, I fully appreciate that, Stu. My past 2 years is mainly comprised of raising investment, doing deals, hiring and firing people, and developing my knowledge base. Really, that's what I've just been obsessed with for the past 2 years. In terms of investment, it's I've raised and paid back and reborrowed millions of pounds. In terms of deals, I've done dozens of deals. We try to do 6 a year at least. In the tens, over 100 plus million pounds worth of new deals done probably in the past 2 years at least, probably more. The team base is currently over 70, but I've probably had to, there's been dozens and dozens of people that have also come and gone. And but knowledge is a big one. Obviously, being around you guys, I've been invested a lot in Goldman Sachs and the 10K SB program and the Unicorn School. I've also been invested heavily in Business Leader for the past years, just constantly trying to get myself around people who are doing bigger and better things, learning more, and then the big one for me is pushing forward on this expansion plan. And I'm still very committed to achieve the plan, to become national, to eventually exit, and but it dominates. It absolutely dominates your life. I mean, the stress that when people, and I know this is no way at all to say as a gloating thing. It's just true. People who know me and operate around me could see the amount of work that has to go into it, the amount of pressure, the amount of things that go wrong and don't go to plan. And I think by far, the past 2 years, the bigger the business gets, kind of comes back to what Stuart said. The bigger the business gets, the bigger the deals we do, harder it actually is. If something doesn't go right, it's a bigger problem. The number is bigger, and the stress is higher. But I'm committed.
Committed to the cause, mate. Yeah, I mean, I saw your Instagram post the other day, mate, where you were showing the expansion into the southwest and the general west of England. Obviously, to do those things, you're having to learn a lot about staffing and sort of your structure internally as a business, right? And you've explained it a lot over the podcast and talked to us behind the scenes about the maneuvering you're having to do to facilitate scale. It's not like you can just go, I'm going to buy more sites and just employ people. It's like you got to forward think and strategize and look at cash flow and how you're going to inject into those areas, how you're going to enter new markets. And I suppose the last 2 years must have been a big learning curve for you on how to do that and how not to do that, right?
Yeah, and just numbers are bigger. Like in terms of cash flow, it's so important. It's we've had 30 million plus come through the door, and I've got to send 30 million back out the door. It's just it is constant, and the numbers are so big. As Stuart said, some of the sites we're doing now, there's 60 units plus. One of our pipelines 100. Just for a report, it's £30,000 for a report, just for a report. That's the game we're in. So it's the bigger we've grown, the opportunities there, which is good. The team capacity's grown, but investment is it's hard, it's constant, it's hard. But if I level off and stop trying to grow, then cash could come back through the door. But I mean, there's a housing crisis out there. Come on,
Batman, mate. Batman of social housing or Bunny of social housing, whichever you go for. Yeah, I mean, speaking of investment, I suppose that's been my flywheel goal has always been to create an ability to raise capital on demand, because that is the ultimate. To me, it was looking at property development kind of coming into the space like 6 years ago, and my dad coming from the investment world and me coming from like a social media audience attention background. That our plan was always we need to be able to raise capital on demand. Like that's got to be the goal. We thought, do we do it for a fund structure, some kind of bond structure? Do we do it through traditional wining and dining and raising finance? And over time, we've just developed an ability. And 2 years ago was when we just embarked on this new journey to be able to raise capital through direct campaigns and all this sort of stuff that we do now. And now we've perfected that ability and growing a sales team, and we've consultants team. Ultimately, they're doing sales, but it's much more consultative than just sell. If anything, the guys know to not push the sell and just go, look, it's got to be in your own time. You've got to be prepared to do this because it's a large sum of investment, and we've just perfected every part of that process, and that's given us and unlocked the ability to raise capital. And I was showing you guys last night, we just hit a new sort of milestone on capital raising. So we've raised about 35 million. That's capital secured that's gone into developments, but we actually have just over now £100 million worth of private equity capital sat in our pipeline pre-close. Now, some of that is cold, and some of that we won't be able to tap into most likely. But that's £100 million worth of people who've all shown up to a call, qualified on the call, and then they're then in that journey to closing the investment. And I'd say a good half of that we will secure. But that's 100 million. And I'm just looking at those numbers going, can we get that to a billion? How do we get that to a billion? And then how do we raise 10 million a month to secure 100 million a year? And that flywheel is now working, which then directs the attention to the rest of the business. And I think the biggest learning lessons I've made over the last 2 years, like that it all comes down to just hiring the right people and putting them in the right positions. The difference of an A player and a C player is just like disproportionate impact to how well the business can do. And I think going forwards, I'm always thinking of who's better that I can get in those positions, or how can I train someone to be better? Because I know that their disproportionate impact of other A players that we have brings so much more to the business and to the game and to improvements and to upside and growth and also autonomy that's saving my time, because you've got a very competent individual there. It's just the most valuable thing I can do, which marketing and putting the right people in the right seats. I just didn't appreciate how valuable that attention was. I think when you're starting a business and when you're growing a business in the early days, you kind of just think like bums on seats to perform certain tasks. But the difference of someone who can do the task and get it done, and someone who can excel, use their intuition, their initiative to excel in that task, is just, it's so big that it's got to be something that a business owner prioritizes at the time when you can start to specialize. Early on, you kind of need jack of all trades, people who will cover a few bases. But then you get to a point where you start to need to bring in specialists, people who are really good in their domain, because they will excel that department or excel that position or whatever task it is they're doing. And that's, by a long way, that's the most valuable thing I've learned through trial and error over the last 2 years. But to your points as well, Jack and Stu particularly, talking about like when we first started the podcast, it was exactly, we just wanted to chat more. And I think it's just, I always look forward to it every week. I'm like, cool, chat with the boys, catch up on everything. And the fact we record it and put it out there is obviously great for us. And long term, we've got ambitions to grow this podcast into one of the biggest business podcasts in the UK. But the key to doing that is consistency, and the fact that we all enjoy doing it is key to that. Because if we didn't like doing it, we'd have given up, which is what most people do. Because if you don't like doing something, you're not going to keep doing it. So yeah, it's been a pleasurable 100 weeks, boys.